Welcome everybody for the Thursday evening current games class. You know, currently what's going on in the world of chess, and a lot of the tournaments, as you know, have been getting cancelled and postponed. But I found this game from a women's Grand Prix tournament in Lausanne that is going on right now, and this is a game between Russian Grandmaster Goryachkina, Aleksandra Goryachkina, against Ju Wenjun. They actually played a World Championship match recently in Shanghai and Vladivostok, and it was an epic match, one of the best matches in the history, at least for the Women's World Championship. Ju Wenjun was leading by 1 point. Goryachkina won the last game on demand with white, and then with white or black, I'm not sure. She won the game, she equalized the match, forced the tie breaks, but the Chinese players came ahead in the tiebreak and won. So Ju Wenjun still a world champion. But Goryachkina had a great day, and this was a very nice smashing victory for her. She's white against Ju Wenjun. E6. Okay, all right, guys. So d4 played, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, and d5. So Goryachkina was happy with the Nimzo-Indian defense. Okay, but her opponent said no Nimzo-Indian defense. I want to go for qgd. Takes here. Take here, takes, bishop b4 check, bishop d2, queen takes d2, queen d2, castles, bishop c4, knight d7. All theory. Castles, b6. Rook a d1. Bishop b7. Rook f e1. Now he goes rook c8. Rook c8, attacking the bishop. I'll just go back bishop b3. She just went back bishop b3. So this is all standard. This all has been played before. White has the control of the center, but black position remains to be very solid and very compact. So it's very hard to break. So after bishop b3, rook e8 was played. Okay, and players made a couple of more useful moves: h3, h6. And now all the simple useful moves are played already. And here you need to come up with a plan. Okay, it's not so easy to see what the plan is here. But what Goryachkina did is she played rook e3. I presume she had analyzed this, perhaps for the World Championship or something else. The point of this move is she wants to put the queen on e2. That way her e4 pawn is securely guarded, okay? And now she has opportunities to consider pushing d5, and you'll see, d5, e5 idea. So Ju Wenjun goes here, and now white to play here. After putting all these pieces together, what is the plan? What is the plan here? Now what to do? What do you think white is trying to do in this position? What did Aleksandra Goryachkina trying to do here? Because she put everything together like this, but there is a purpose. There is an idea that she wants to do it. So what's the plan here for white to try to break through? Well, but the problem is your e4 pawn will always be hanging. Okay, that's a problem. Knight e5 also could be met by a move like knight d7, trading off.
You said white wants to open up the center?
Yeah, this is the whole point of this line, is to try to open up, or break through, here. This idea she does is a kind of a typical idea for this position. You sacrifice a pawn, but you get a good outpost for your knight on f3. And then you have some strong, some potential attacking ideas, strong attacking ideas.
d5 then?
Perfect. She takes, don't rush. Don't rush, okay? Don't you rush here, please.
d5?
e5, he goes here.
Knight d4?
Rook d4, because he wants to go to knight f4 and knight e6. So the idea here is to try to prevent that, okay? And we do it by playing rook d4. Now he goes g6.
e6?
Don't rush, don't rush. So what's the idea here? Rook d4, g6 now. We have to improve our queen, correct? Queen on e2, it's not helping our attack, not helping to conduct the attack here. So you need to improve the position of that queen. d3, or we also don't want rook c1 check and stuff, So we want to stop that.
d2?
Absolutely. Now he goes here.
Grab the pawn.
Knight h2. She wants to bring the knight to g4 to attack the h6 pawn and target the weak pawn, weak square on f6, okay? Now queen c5 played by Ju Wenjun. What is she trying to do? What black is dreaming about in this position? What is black's dream here? Queen c1, swap the queens off the board. That's what he's trying to do. She's trying to do, okay? Swap the queens here. If queens come off the board, black is happy. Okay, because she's not gonna get mated. So are we gonna allow that to happen? Are we gonna do that? Of course not. Of course we're not gonna let that happen. How? How are we gonna try to prevent that and still keep our attacking prospects here? Rook back to e1. Okay. Queen c3. Proposing the exchange, trying to force the exchange. What are we going to do?
Hard to say no. Queen have to stay guarding two rooks. Can't go anywhere.
What do you do?
Queen d1 maybe.
Absolutely, that's your only move. Otherwise, you're gonna have to force the trade rook. So queen d1. Now, rook ec8. This perhaps was maybe a little questionable, because that gives an opportunity for Goryachkina to do what she had planned to do. So I'm not sure if this is maybe this is the moment where Ju Wenjun went inaccurately a little bit. But on the other hand, it's hard. It's hard to see, what to do. So I played here, and now,
Knight g4.
don't rush, please. Don't rush. You have knight g4, but you have another idea here that is very strong. Okay, I'm going to give you some time to think. I don't want to give you more hints. I need you to play like the Russian superstar. Break. Another pawn break needed here. Look at that shaky king side. That shaky king side here. I need a break. I need a break for you guys.
e6.
Now, knight f6 comes back to defend.
What if queen c1 there?
Queen c1 here.
Yeah.
Queen e2.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah.
not to mention I can take on f7 check, and f7 check, I don't know what you're going to do, because you cannot take with the rook. I take on c1. You take with the king, I have queen f3 check. So e6 is that breakthrough move that you need, okay? And now he went here, and now another excellent move here from white. Knight on f6 is always a good defender. It's always defending, controlling. And here you have a way to neutralize that defender, okay?
Knight g4.
Yep. Now he goes king g7. Now, what do we do? He had to go king g7 because g6 was very difficult. So, what should we do? What do we do? What should we do? What do we do? Just take. Just take. Now she takes back. Rook f7. Now the king position is very weak. And now go for it. Go for the attack here. The position has been weakened, shaken now. What are we going to do?
Queen b1.
Queen b1? Queen b1, maybe it goes queen f6.
Time to sacrifice.
Not yet, not yet. Bring some more pieces in the game first. Bring some more forces into the attack. Which piece we can try to bring in with power?
Rook e6.
Correct. g5 he goes though. He's not going to give up. Now threatening queen c1. Trading the queens. Again, black is dreaming about trading. Black will be happy to give up a pawn or two to get into an endgame here because the king is so vulnerable. What you going to do to prevent that? What you're going to do now to prevent that from happening? Queen c1 is a threat, a serious threat.
Just tuck the king away on h2.
Exactly. Check. He's checking you now. You go back rank, he's going to go queen c1. You know that.
g3.
g3, rook to f2, check. Oy, oy, oy. Nice move. Accurate move needed.
f4.
f4. Rook f4. Let's not give up material yet, guys. We said all the moves pretty much. Correct. Defending and threatening. What are we threatening here? Queen h5. Attacking h6, attacking the g6 square.
Oh yeah, you opened the diagonal.
Absolutely open the diagonal. Now he goes here. He's trying to meet queen h5 with rook f6. But now white has some tempies. Time to activate that queen on d1 that has been sitting there for a while.
Queen d5.
Fantastic. And now, when opponent's position is weakened, stretched out, there are so many targets here. Now, make a target. How are you going to make a target here? Absolutely h4. Absolutely h4. Weakening g5 now. Uncovering that shield, you know, the shield is the g5 pawn. You want to destroy the shield to come up with the mating ideas. Fantastic. Now h4. Queen c5, proposing the exchange. Again, we can exchange, win some pawns back. Is that really what we want to do? No. We want to keep the queens on the board. How? Your attack is extremely powerful right now. Extremely powerful. Queen e5, and now he plays d4, trying to trade. But now tactics work out good for Goryachkina. How? Ju Wenjun realizes if he takes on f2 with the queen, h takes g is just mating. She knew it at this point. She's losing. How? How she's losing here? Correct, because if now queen is taken, you have a, what you have now? In between, g takes f6 check. A very powerful in-between move, check, double check. King has to move, and the game is, well, yeah, check, wins the game, okay? So that's the point, okay? So g5, take, she took back here, and now rook takes check, king h8, mate in 3 basically now.
Rook h5.
Correct. Cannot step on a g file because discovery check, have to go here, and the move that will end the game and a powerful win for Goryachkina. Queen g3. Perfect. Cannot go to the h file, g file, queen g, rook g6, queen g6 mate. If you go to f7, what's the win? What's the win here, everybody? Rook h7, YouTube audience, perfect. And powerful play. I really like this game. I think it was a very, very powerful play by Goryachkina. Excellent. Very nice play, you know. Especially, you know, going back a little bit, the first 15 or so moves are all theory. So it really showed her her preparation here. This has all been played before. But this rook e3 plan, it shows she spent the time, you know, she worked really hard, her coaches, to come up with this idea. It's a very deep idea, you know. You put it here and then you push, basically. Black can play e5, but it's always worse, those positions, because the pass pawn, you know. Maybe even d6 is possible there. But now just this position. And you just go for a very powerful h4. Yeah, this was just I think right here, you know, perhaps maybe something black could have done, because moving the rook away, allowing e6 was tough, you know. Okay, very well, okay. We're going to look at another example of color, okay? A position where the weaknesses of the squares are very important. You ready? Well, this is an older game played by Portisch, okay? Lajos Portisch. Well, this is maybe a different Portisch. It says F Portisch, but don't know. All right. Black to play in this position, guys. Again, the topic is the color, the weak squares, the weak. If the colors are weak, you know, what are you going to do here?
You know what year this was played, or who do you?
1975. Ribli. It says F Portisch, right? I don't know. needs to be checked. F. Portisch, 1975, Hungary.
It was different. Portisch, you wouldn't beat Ribli. Because Ribli was very strong in the 70s.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is the position. Ribli versus F. Portisch, Hungary, 1975. Black to play. You need to find the strongest continuation here. Yeah, it's different Portisch. Ferenc Portisch against Zoltan Ribli. It's different, different Portisch. So what is the idea now here, huh? Ferenc Portisch was a strong IM and a brother of the world-class Grandmaster Lajos Portisch. He won this game by brutally expanding and exploiting the weaknesses of the dark squares in white's position. So, strong IM, Ferenc Portisch. Black to play here. What can you do in this position? Yes. Black's dark squares. White's. Sorry, it's white's dark squares. It's black to play. Yeah. How did he do that? Huh? How did he manage to exploit the weaknesses?
Want to avoid trading queens?
Of course, you're down a pawn. You're down a pawn. Whenever you're down a pawn, you want to avoid trading queens, especially opponent's position has been weakened. Dark squares are weak. Okay.
Bishop c4 stops casting and there's no queen trade.
Why no trading?
Why not what? Trade queens?
No, I mean,
We don't want to trade queens, guys. We don't want to trade queens.
Supposed to stop the trade, like 97.
Mm-hmm.
And then do like queen h4 check, maybe.
Okay, so you're suggesting 97?
Yeah.
Correct choice. That's what he played. Opening up the bishop, possibility of queen check here and attacking that dark square bishop, okay? With the simple idea of taking the bishop. Now, bishop d6 played. The other moves are not that good either. So if you play bishop a7, just simply knight here. And this actually is going to be the game. Takes is the game here. You'll see. What are the other alternatives here we can discuss here? Bishop d4 is a problem because knight goes on e5. And now knight c4 is threatened. So you go knight e2. And now black has another strong move here. And position simply collapses. After which move, position will collapse here because of the dark squares. Again, he's not connected. That's huge plus for you, okay? So you could have ideas that you wouldn't have if he had been castled. And he had been absolutely c5. If he takes with the bishop, you have knight d3 strong move, okay? And take on c5 winning. If he takes, it's hanging. So he has to take. Now you just simply capture. Threatening queen h4, devastating check. We couldn't play the check there because he had bishop g3 back. So we take. He takes, we take, and now a3, and the simplest thing is just to take and a5. He cannot take, it's hanging, and if he tries to do this, push, basically, okay? It's just very, very powerful position. There might be other alternatives like bishop c4 as well here. This is a very strong position for you.
Both bishops like seeing the pawn all the way to the end.
Absolutely, you just push them all the way down. So because of that, white's best defense here is bishop d6, which was played. Now the idea, as mentioned, knight e5, threatening knight c4 now. So black has no choice. If he takes bishop e5, this is bad also, so he has to take. And now what to do here? Don't rush. This is a key moment, okay? Knight d3 check is a move, but you need to try to disrupt white's coordination, okay? How you're going to disrupt that coordination, okay? How you're going to disrupt that coordination.
Knight takes f3.
Bishop takes f3. Well, I don't think we want to sacrifice that much. I mean, we already sacked the exchange, so let's recover a little bit, you know? Let's recover a little bit material.
We can do queen h4 now.
Perfect.
Bishop cannot come back.
Disrupting the coordination. He cannot play queen f2, knight d2 check, so he has to go king f1. One more check, right? Now, if he plays king g1, which is bad, you know, I mean, it's, you can just take rook b8, and there's just a very strong compensation here, okay? Threatening knight d3, bishop d4, and everything. So that's why he played knight e2. Now you go rook takes b8. Rook d1. And now strong move needed. Correct. Threatening queen f2 mate. Now he goes here. So this queen is the problem now. It's just defending everything. What can you do? Is there another way for you to try to disrupt this?
Bishop h6.
Perfect. Queen d4. He couldn't play f4 because knight f4, obviously. What do we do now?
Rook d8.
Perfect. Queen b6. And now,
Can't drop forever.
you need to do what? You need to do what here?
Block the queen from.
Exactly. And now you look at the queen is guarding the rook, which is huge. Okay, for you. Yeah, now threatening queen f4. So you go knight g3, and now
Oh, discover check.
and now discover check. But what's the correct discover check? There are many of them here.
Knight f4.
Well, you want to win the rook, right?
Alright, knight b2.
Yep. If he goes to e1, you go rook d1, okay? And the game is over. Got it? Any questions? Fantastic win by Ferenc Portisch. Okay? Very powerful display of how to punish the opponent for weakening his dark squares. You see it, guys? Dominating victory here. Let's look at it again, once again, for everybody to see it. It started off right here. If you're just joining us on YouTube, so you can see the follow-up. Knight d7. Bishop goes back here, or bishop d6, it's the same thing. Knight e5, threatening knight c4, have to take it. Queen h4 check. Bishop c4, and only now taking back. Threatening knight d3 ideas. And now disrupt with this. Attack. Cannot take the bishop because f2 square needs to be covered because of the mating ideas. Has to go here. c5, disconnecting the queen from the f2 square. Queen f2 can only be prevented by knight g3, and now knight b2 check, winning the rook. There is another idea, rook d3, but this just looks too much, you know. This just looks too much. Once again, king in the middle, uncastled, weak dark squares. All these things together, it's a winning situation for black. Very good, excellent.
He made his brother proud.
Very. He made his brother very proud. His brother was Lajos Portisch. Okay, guys, we're going to do one more example, okay? And this example, it's going to be the game of Garry Kasparov against a very famous opponent, Nigel Short. Okay? So, let me set this up for you. All right. White to play and win here. So clearly we see some problems around the light squares. So here we're talking about the light squares, okay? The light squares are weakened. How did Kasparov manage to win this game with a very precise play against Nigel Short?
When was this game?
Brussels, Belgium, 1986. Not sure which tournament was this, but it's Brussels. White to play and win.
I think the black bishop on g6 is a bit overloaded. It's protecting e8, is protecting the king against diagonal checks.
Correct. Light squares are the issue here, okay? Light squares are the big issue in this game.
I think we can try to harass the bishop on g6, like start with h4. Get it out of g6.
So what's the move here?
h4.
A little bit better something you can do here.
Rook e6.
Well, the idea is this knight, you know?
Maybe you can try knight e4.
Knight e4. You got to get the knight into the game. You're not going to be able to win this. You need the knight, okay? So knight comes in with the tempo. If he takes, you have queen e4 check. It's fantastic. Then bishop c2 and just mate him on h7. Or check, check. G6 is bad also, bishop f7, okay? So he cannot do that. So he took on e7. And now it's amazing play, because it's not so trivial here. It's amazing display of technique here we see. Next two moves are very, very impressive. What did Kasparov do? How did he build up the pressure?
Thinking like right now, knight f6 doesn't do much, but we could amplify it somehow.
So what do you want to do?
I don't know. Just brainstorming. Bishop g8 doesn't do much, does it?
What about bishop to c2?
Fantastic. Fantastic move by Mike. Perfect. Defending the knight and getting ready to pressurize on that light squares. Perfect. Threatening f4. Threatening the winning f4 move now, okay? So, black plays rook f8, obviously, to prevent f4. Okay? Again, you don't have a good discovery. It looks like, oh, I'm going to win now, but you don't have a good discovery, okay? So what are you going to do now?
Maybe h4 and it takes g3.
Huh?
Maybe h4 and it takes g3 and get f4 in.
G3, preparing H4, F4, and H4 ideas. Another strong move, another nice way, to prepare. Oh, sorry, there was another way to play H4, but it was a little bit more complicated, okay? But let me show you this. H4 here, he takes knight G3, attacking the queen. And this appears to be winning as well, because now if he goes here, check, take wins. And if you take with the king, then check wins, because you go here or here, you're gonna get mated. Okay? Knight G3. Bishop H4. So it was another idea, but he played G3. Queen D8. Rook A D1, attacking the queen. Goes here. H4. And now he got the bishop pushed back, and now what's the idea? Now a very special move that wins the game. Very special idea. That Garry Kasparov found to win the game. Knight F6. Wait, don't rush, don't rush. Knight F6 is a possibility, but something stronger you have. Now, how you take advantage of this loose bishops? He's got two loose bishops on E7, on G6. Well, H5, but maybe he can take with the queen. I don't know. It's tricky. Maybe H5, but better. What did he play here, huh? You could do that, but better. Look at this bishop here. If you just move your knight somewhere, he's going to have two bishops hanging, right? Where can you put this knight?
If you move it without check, he'll just grab your CPU.
So he plays here. He says, that's fine. You can take my bishop. Now you got the bishop hanging here, bishop hanging here. So you have to take, right? No choice. Now what do you do? Takes, right? And now you're threatening mate on g7. Then you're ready to come in with this guy as well on a 7th rank. So Nigel short went here. And now absolutely. Now attacking this as well. He decided to play bishop f5, forking him, because he couldn't see anything else he can try to do here. And now, what is the finish? What is the finish? Yes?
Rook g7, h8, rook h7, bishop h7, queen d4.
Wow. He did not play this actually.
This is cool. Wait.
But this works. Very impressive. Very impressive, Eric. Very impressive. And then a mate. Kasparov actually just played queen d4, which, you know, is also very good. Next one is mate, you know. But not as fancy as Eric's idea, yeah?
Not many shots.
Yeah. Wow, very nice, very nice. So you see how he did this? Let's look at it again, okay, guys? So it started off here. Position is a little shaky for black, but he comes in with knight e4. Takes. He goes bishop c2, bring the bishop in, found by Mike. Bishop c2 move. Now rook f8, g3, getting ready to play f4 and h4. He goes here. Rook a d1, getting in. h4. Knight c3, hitting both bishops here. Bishop on g6, bishop on e7. He goes here. Rook e7, attacking g7. And now both rooks. When two rooks come in like this, it's almost always devastating. We have two rooks like this, queen, you're not going to survive this. And there's no example here. You know, no difference here. Check. And queen. Both, in fact, queen d4 is nice, but I think Eric's idea works perfectly fine too. Check. And just mate. I mean, you can insert queen e5 just to prolong it, but it doesn't work. Excellent, guys. Thank you very much for joining this class. I should be back as a Grandmaster in residence in a few months. So this was fun, couple of weeks doing some lectures and for our YouTube channel. So stay tuned for some more upcoming videos. Thank you for joining us.